Carnism is a way of thinking we get from society. It is the invisible belief system that conditions people to eat certain animals but not others. It's why we are horrified by the Yule and Dog Meat Festival, but sit down to eat the body parts of cows, pigs, and chickens every night without question. Speciesism is the belief that humans are superior to non-human animals, leading to their exploitation. It's why if the things we do to farmed animals were done to humans or even to dogs, they would be considered abhorrent and immoral. But those same actions done to cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, fish, and rabbits are suddenly completely moral. But veganism is what I found when I started thinking and questioning why I was eating the bodies of animals when it was unnecessary. Veganism is defined as a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. Veganism is not just about not eating meat, nor is it only about food. It is not a diet. Veganism is a lifestyle and a social justice movement. Veganism is an inaction. It's realizing pigs are caged on factory farms and sent to gas chambers at 6 months old because they are seen only as products for industry profit and trivial consumer pleasure. And that all that hell that dairy cow went through, having her baby stolen from her, was just for that piece of cheese on your plate made of her breast milk. Veganism means taking accountability and looking in the mirror and asking the hard questions. It's about aligning your actions with your morals, putting ethics above your taste buds and convenience, because neither are any justification for a Holocaust. And if you focus on the victims, being vegan is easy. It would be hard to not be vegan. But non-vegans are scared of change, of losing something that brings them comfort, and for this exact reason, everyone hates vegans. They know we have a point, and for the first time ever, they question the ethics of not being vegan. And they realize they can't debunk a lifestyle that's just against animal abuse. Think about the hell these animals suffer through, because humanity has decided that their lives do not matter, and that their bodies are here for our use. To rip the flesh off of after shoving a knife down their throat, to steal their breast milk from after forcing pregnancy after pregnancy and stealing each and every one of her babies. To genetically modify their bodies to produce 300 eggs a year rather than their natural 15, causing them to lose vital nutrients and get anemia, when by just eating their eggs they could regain those lost nutrients, but we steal their eggs from them instead. Name the trait that non-human animals lack that, if missing in a human too, would morally justify abusing, exploiting, and killing them. If it's intelligence, pigs are as intelligent as 3-year-old children. Would forcing human children into torturous gas chambers for purely sensory pleasure then be ethical? Could we keep children in farrowing crates where they suffer from extreme confinement? Both of these practices are standard practice across animal agriculture. And if it's intelligence, what degree of intelligence would automatically justify enslavement, rape, and murder? If my IQ is higher than yours by 5, can I then murder you for fun? If aliens came to Earth who were more intelligent than us, would it be moral for them to enslave and murder us for fun? Eat us simply because they like the taste, when there's more than enough other food to eat. Science shows animals feel pain like us, feel emotions, and they want to live. Shouldn't these traits really be what's important when discussing moral consideration? And we as vegans acknowledge animals are not the same as humans, but they aren't insentient objects either, and they're worth something morally. Animal rights activists don't want equal rights for animals. That wouldn't make any sense. We just want basic rights for animals that make sense according to animals' desires. The right to life, the right to not be enslaved, exploited, or owned, the right to a safe home. Non-human animals don't have to be equal to humans to matter. Their experience of the world is less complex than of humans, but they still have an experience. They still have feelings. They still don't want to die. They just want to live free in peace with their families and friends, and their bodies and lives were never ours to take in the first place. I recommend Cosmic Skeptic's video explaining this same concept, as well as the first chapter of Peter Singer's book Animal Liberation. Vegans educate non-vegans not because we want to be condescending and feel morally superior, but because we know you're not living in alignment with your morals. And through education, you can be one less person harming animals. We are so hated because we make you feel cognitive dissonance, and knowing the cruelty you fund but not wanting to stop is a very uncomfortable awakening. But we all fell for the propaganda. We were all conditioned into this system. But once you are aware of the unnecessary animal cruelty you're causing and don't stop because you're too selfish, you become an aware animal abuser. And the blood is on your hands, like it always was before, but now you're aware of it. The standard industry practices of the meat, dairy, and egg industries cause much suffering to animals. Farmed animals and animals used for testing are excluded from cruelty laws for a reason. Welfare only works to eliminate suffering unnecessary to the production of animal products. I'm never surprised when another RSPCA-approved farm or slaughter method has some of the worst animal cruelty I've ever seen. Terms like free range only require a very tiny access to the outside, but are really just factory farming with a nice name, to ensure they keep the customer's dollar. Ag-gag laws, which make it illegal to expose cruelty on farms, exist for a reason. Laws exist that make it literally illegal to film inside of farms and slaughterhouses. But sure, it's vegans who have the propaganda. The undercover footage activists get, yeah, that's the propaganda. The multi-billion-dollar meat, dairy, and egg industry ads are definitely not the propaganda here.
Listen carefully. There's only time to tell you twice. McDonald's has bacon double cheeseburgers with hickory smoked bacon, golden melted cheese, and a delicious double layer of juicy beef. So come in on the double. Bacon double cheeseburger.
This is my daughter, Jen, and she is the obvious choice to become the next Happy California cow. Tell them why, Jen.
I want to be the next Happy Cow.
She was born to be a star. When we had her, we just knew.
Mom.
Sorry, go ahead.
The root of the problem is not how we do it, it's that we do it. No animal walks willingly into a slaughterhouse, and we do not own their bodies. They own their bodies, and they do not consent. They want to live. They want to be free. Dairy cows do not consent to be raped, and they want to stay with their babies. Egg-laying hens do not want to lay a painful egg a day for you in a cramped, stressful shed while getting anemia. You can't justify this torture with, it's inconvenient to be vegan though. And you might say it's your personal choice to abuse animals, but why do the animals not get a choice? And what do you think they would choose? If we didn't keep them against their will and they had a second option of living in a vegan farm sanctuary instead? You're deeply fooling yourself if you think it's kind to enslave, mutilate, rape, confine, torture, abuse, and slaughter animals for simply trivial sensory pleasure. And I could sit here and debunk every single argument against veganism, but I've already done that thousands of times, and you can easily find all of my videos doing just that. Veganism is anti-all oppression, anti-all discrimination. Veganism is not some fad diet for rich white people. It's a social justice movement, the fight for animal rights and animal liberation from all the ways we abuse animals because of speciesism. Activism is done primarily through vegan outreach and education, in the hopes that others boycott animal exploitation too, like we did. But also with the plan to create system change and create a world where non-human animals have the basic rights to life and freedom, to live not as property but as individuals, respected not for what they are, but who they are. Veganism is about solely the animals, but it also drastically helps with our health, the environment, preventing pandemics, and more. 3/4 of new viruses come from animal exploitation. And animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of climate change. Meat has also been linked to cancer by the World Health Organization, and the cholesterol from meat, dairy, and eggs causes heart disease. Heart disease and cancer are our number 1 and 2 killers. Slaughterhouse workers are typically members of a minority who cannot get a better job, and frequently get PTSD and have higher rates of suicide. Animal products have also been tied to antibiotic resistance. And animal agriculture is a very inefficient food system, wasting loads of resources. We would use vastly less land and harvest less plants under a plant-based food system. The eradication of animal agriculture would greatly help or solve all of these things, but veganism is about the animals. If you're on a plant-based diet for environment or health reasons, you might still buy wool or leather. You might buy toothpaste that has been tested on animals, and you'll still be speciesist, and see animals as commodities and see nothing immoral about others not being vegan. Plant-based people will also muddy the waters inside the vegan movement, being apologists and telling non-vegans, "I'm not like those annoying militant vegans who try to force their opinions on you. I respect your personal choice." Such people make a mockery of animal rights, so we need to make a clear difference in language between the two. To be vegan is to be an independent thinker in a world of conformists. It's to be brave and selfless and say no in the face of an atrocity. You could do the easy thing, but instead you do the right thing. Veganism isn't some crazy extreme cult. Non-violence and kindness towards non-human animals would only seem extreme in a world where violence and cruelty to animals is the norm. Most people already hold the values of veganism. They experience cognitive dissonance because they are living in a disalignment with their own moral values. They are against animal cruelty while they pay for it to happen. And they're scared they'll have to give something up in going vegan. Which isn't true if you already care. And our food is literally amazing, like... you're gonna lose nothing, okay? Veganism is about justice. About just simply not taking the life of an animal for a snack when there's other things to eat. It's about basic ethics. And it's the very least we can do. Veganism is the moral baseline. It just means not abusing animals. It's an inaction. And activism is when you actually take action and fight the system yourself. Instead of just refusing to beat the dog with the man, you tell the man to stop beating the dog. Veganism/animal rights will take a long time, but we are a social justice movement that cannot be stopped. So will you join us?